Hey you guys, we're back for another movie retrospective. Not going back too far for this one. This is from 2015, and it is the Kurt Russell film Bone Tomahawk.
That's right. You know, I'm deep in the Russell sphere. I like all of I don't like all of Russell's movies, but I like them. I don't like them all. There's some of them that a little bit less than others, but you know what I mean. Actually, he's always done a good job in every one of his movies.
Yeah, even if the movie around him isn't terrific, he's always the best thing in it.
Yeah, my favorite ones, of course, being, like The Thing, Escape from New York, Soldier, Escape from L.A., and Bone Tomahawk's a good one. And I like his Christmas movie, the
Christmas Chronicles. We did review that back on one of our
Christmas Chronicles, the Russell Christmas movie.
He played Santa Claus, like this grumpy old Santa Claus.
Actually, no, he's a badass Santa Claus.
He was, yeah.
He's not real grumpy. He's friendly.
He's a little bit grumpy, yeah.
When he has to be.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's
I'm grumpy when I have to be.
Yeah. So, and he was really good in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
In Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, he shows up. He even does some of the voiceover with it.
That's right. I forgot all about that.
Yeah. And this is one of Russell's great movies from later on in his career. This is a good character and everything that he's playing. He's playing a damn sheriff, investigating the disappearance of some people. Well, the murder, one, of a black kid that was in a damn
Yeah, he was like
barn.
a stable boy.
And then guy's wife disappeared, and somebody else was working.
The other deputy, it was like this drifter that was in the jail.
Yeah, they were abducted from the town. It's an old west town,
Bright Hope.
Yeah. So they call in a guy. They call in the professor.
Yeah.
The professor's a Native American guy in a suit with big old long hair, and he knows everything about Indians. See, they found this
weird arrow.
This weird arrow had like a bone spearhead or arrowhead on it. So it looked like it was bone, I guess. They didn't really show it close up. And this guy tells the story of that these are troglodytes. They're like cave dwelling, prehistoric, horrific Indians that are like cannibals. What did he say? He said they're so bad that they would
rape and eat their own mothers. I think is what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
I think he said it was like a tainted bloodline or something like that.
Yeah, with tainted
so that was kind of like the movie's
shit.
way of going. These aren't like we're not picking on Native Americans. These are like supposed to be like monsters, really.
They're monsters.
Because even like the other Native American tribes were like, yeah, fuck those guys.
Yeah, they were like, well, and he was like, well, what? And Russell was like, well, what do they look like? And he goes, well, you would just think they were other. You being a white man, you would just think they were other Indians, but we know what they are, or that we know that they're not Indians, they're troglodytes.
Yeah, that's exactly what they call them.
Yeah, so they go off on this mission to go rescue the people who got abducted. One of them is dude's wife.
Yeah,
and he's trying to go along on the mission. He's got a broken leg, and of course this is just like everything that could go wrong kind of does go wrong on this mission to save these people. It's
Frontier,
pretty cool
man.
flick.
It's no joke.
Pretty cool flick. There's a lot of good characters in it. A lot of good dialogue. Russell's fucking on the top of his game. He's at the top of his game.
He's so good at this. And and I have to say, and I said this to him last night. I mean, he was a good looking dude when he was young too, obviously. Yeah. But he's like turned into like the coolest looking old dude.
Yeah, and he looks like something out of the old west.
He does, especially with
all
this and
facial hair. And
his
stuff.
mustache in this is glorious.
Yeah,
I must say. But yeah, he really, kind of gets that across. This actually came out. I think this had like a limited theatrical release in 2015, and then it went straight to VOD. I think like on the same day that it came out in the theater. Now, interestingly, Kurt Russell also played a similar role in Quentin Tarantino's The Hateful Eight, of course, which only came out a few months after this. So this is like two kind of westerns. Right. Now, I'm going to say right here, I've seen The Hateful Eight a couple of times. It's been a while since I've seen it.
I got to see it again.
I think I like this one better.
It's a different kind of movie.
It's kind of, The thing about this one, okay, now, I've been reading like some different reviews of it because I wanted to see it. It has mostly like, very positive reviews. A lot of people that saw it when it came out. It's a Western for probably about 80% of its runtime, but then it goes into like full-on horror mode. Yeah. And I've seen this called like numerous reviews that I read of this.
Yeah, almost like House. It gets like House of a Thousand Corpses.
Yeah, numerous reviews of this have called it The Searchers mixed with Cannibal Ferox. Yeah. Which That's pretty accurate.
It's pretty cool.
Like it goes like from ambling Western with like a lot of humor in it, surprisingly. When we watched it, because I've seen it before, but then we watched it again last night in preparation for the show, and it's actually much funnier than I remembered. Like it has like a lot of like gallows humor in it.
Yeah, there's like a, the assistant deputy, what do you call himself? The assistant backup deputy?
Yeah.
Is that what they call him? He's, I wouldn't call him dumb, but he's not real educated, and he just asks crazy questions about, have you ever read a book while you're
in the bathtub?
How do you keep
the book from getting wet?
And, Crussell comes up with this. What was Crussell's, what was that character's name again?
Sheriff Hunt.
Sheriff Hunt, that's right.
Yeah.
Sheriff Hunt comes up with, you put it on one of those little music stands.
Yeah, like they have at the orchestra.
Yeah, and then you have a towel to dry your fingers, and he goes, oh.
Like the old guy didn't even think of that.
He didn't think of that, it's just funny.
Chicory, that guy's name. He was played by Richard Jenkins.
Yeah.
And really, I think like one of the...
Good acting throughout the whole damn movie.
Yeah, one of the funniest things about this movie is the relationship between those two. Yeah. Because the cool thing about this movie, like I said, now this is it's very long. It's 2 hours and 15 minutes or something like that. So, as I said, about 80% of this movie is them just like riding to the place to find the troglodytes and find the people that got kidnapped.
It's a mission-oriented movie, you know what I mean? Getting there is part of the problem, and it would be part of the problem because, in the condition that the party is in, one of the dudes got a broken leg, man. It's bad.
Now, I have to say that Patrick Wilson played the guy who's playing, I think his name was Arthur O'Dwyer, and his wife was the one that got kidnapped. Now, she was either the doctor or the doctor's assistant. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because that's how she got, ended up getting kidnapped, because this drifter comes into town, played by David Arquette, and he's, acting up, so Kurt Russell shoots him in the leg, and then they go to get the doctor, and either, the doctor is drunk, and they have to get the assistant, or she's the doctor in the town. I'm not really sure. But so she is staying with him in the jailhouse, overnight, to make sure his leg doesn't get infected and all this other stuff, and that's when, the kidnapping happens. So that's how she ends up being there. Now, Patrick Wilson's character, who is her husband, I think he was supposed to be... It's weird because I see a lot of reviews get it wrong. They call him the doctor. He wasn't a doctor. He was a foreman or a construction guy or something like that. And he had been working on a roof and he fell off the roof, before the events of the movie. And so his tibia was broken.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know how long ago that had happened. It was obviously still very painful. But, his wife had been working on it and, trying to heal it and everything. But when she gets kidnapped... He will not let the rest of the posse go without him.
Which you can kind of understand. It was kind of understandable. Yeah. He wanted to get his wife back, and he wouldn't be able to, he probably wouldn't be able to hold it together with him just staying at home.
Because you could feel like...
Worried himself to death, so he wanted to go on the mission, even though this leg was just fucked up.
Even though he... I think that was one of the things about this movie, is that you could tell, all of the guys that go out on this... mission, because it's 4 guys. It's Sheriff Hunt, who's Kurt Russell. It's Chicory, who is the old doddering hilarious backup deputy, and then it's Arthur O'Dwyer, the guy with the broken leg, and then they get this other guy played by Matthew Fox, whose name is Brooder, and he's this kind of dandy dressed Indian killing dude that lives in town, and he's kind of a snot, and he's kind of arrogant and stuff.
He thinks he's all high class. He's been to Europe.
Yeah,
European stuff. He goes on this damn mission wearing white too,
and it always looks impeccable.
And it stayed clean, yeah.
So it's not only can he
was putting up tripwires and stuff around the camp, so no one would walk up on him. And some Mexicans walked up, and they were trying to talk their way into the camp, and they were going to let him in. He shoots them both dead anyway.
So you never did find out what they wanted.
Yeah, well, the horses got stolen later on
when they moved.
So maybe he called it right. He thought they were just bandits just trying to talk their way in, And but he never really could explain how it is. He knew that. It just basically says, because I'm more intelligent than you. That's basically
he basically says exactly that. He's the smartest person.
Yeah, he says I'm smarter than all you guys. Just.
Yeah,
you never really know.
Just listen to me.
It's a bunch of ambiguity in that thing, and
I liked that they left that ambiguous.
Was I don't think we should have shot that guy. He was wearing a cross, and they're just going back and forth. It's just a lot of good banter, a lot of good characters in it, And I liked the ending of the movie. Sheriff Hunt was he was a good character. You know what I mean? He went out like a brave guy. He's right up there with McCready and Sergeant Todd and Snake Plissken and the guy that he did from Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
It's that same type of character. It's the type of character that you want to see the Crussell play.
Oh yeah, this is definitely a role that was like definitely made for him. And I think the thing that makes this work, because like I said, if you're not super into Westerns, if you're not, familiar with a lot of the stuff that he's homaging, like a lot of John Ford's movies and stuff, then you might find this like a little rambling, because like I said, it is very long and it takes like a long time for them to get to the troglodytes. And a lot of it is just them kind of going across the frontier, like to get there, and like all the kind of problems they encounter along the way. But what makes this work is the cast and like the four of them and their interactions with each other. Like I said, there's a lot of humor in it, not like wacky, zany, like, oh, look at the humor type of stuff, but it's just kind of like a dark humor where, they're just kind of like trying to make light of the shitty situation that they're in to like kind of make themselves feel better and like for morale and stuff. And I like too that all four of the men, I mean, even Bruder's character, who is initially unlikable, but you do find out as the journey goes on that he does actually have, a lot of the skills to back up like all of the shit that he says. You know what I mean? He's not just some, guy wearing a white suit who thinks he's all that, who can't do shit. He does actually do shit. He does actually step up to the plate and help out. And so like the fact of like the four of them kind of squabbling, but then like coming together for a common mission, I think that's like a really good aspect. And I also want to say too that Patrick Wilson, he's like he's in like a lot of the Conjuring movies and stuff. Like he plays what's his face, Ed Warren in the Conjuring movies. And I like him as an actor, but he's never like super standout or anything. But one thing I really like about his role in this is that you can just see his fucking determination the whole time, because his leg is all fucked up. You can tell that he knows that he's slowing down the rest of the group, and you can tell that he's like really freaking out, like thinking about what's happening to his wife, because it takes them several days to get there, because they lose their horses at some point. They get stolen, so they have to walk. And so you can just kind of just see this gritty determination. He's just gonna fucking make it, you know what I mean? And it's like they kind of want to leave him behind at certain points. They're like, they don't really want to, but they feel like maybe we might have to at some stage. We might have to cut off his leg. What if it gets infected? So, but you can just see that like he is just not gonna let that. I think he even talks to his leg at one point. He's like, "You're not gonna stop me," he says to the leg.
And the movie starts off with a bang, man, because you got Sid Haig in the damn movie.
In like a cameo role.
Playing scuzzy ass range bandit. And he and this other guy are killing people in their sleeps to steal their shit. And they run into his damn troglodytes.
And they desecrate their burial ground. And that's where the trouble starts.
That was, so starting off with Sid Haig, he hits the perfect note to get you into the movie when it starts. Let you know what kind of movie this is going to be. Because what they do, and I think this is really kind of interesting, and this is S. Craig Zahler, the guy that directed this. This is actually his directorial debut. Prior to this, he was a cinematographer. Prior to that, he's a novelist, also a musician, and he was a music writer. I think he wrote about metal, mostly. Maybe he wrote that song at the very end.
He did.
Okay. It sounded like something from the 1800s.
He did.
Pretty cool.
And it's almost like a parody song. It tells you like the whole plot of the movie. It's what's called Four Doomed Men Ride Out or something like that. It's like, seriously, stay for the ending song, because it's hysterical. You can tell this is not a real expensive movie to make. No, it was quite low budget.
But the thing is, though, is that it's very high quality. It was very well crafted. Everybody did a good job, and it was presented as if this is a fucking fantastic movie. You know what I mean? Like everybody...
the scope of it is very large.
And they cared about the movie. And it was up there with any classic, I would say, in terms of scope and everything, and up there with any classic 70s, Western movie, like Pale Rider or, any of the Eastwood flicks. It's just...
it does like have a languorous pace like that.
Yeah, like I said, not the quite same fast pace as, say, like Pale Rider or... what's the one where he was in the damn High Plains Drifter?
Yeah.
But just as effective.
Yeah.
Just as effective.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I mean, it's, you could tell that it was made with care.
Yeah.
And it fits the genre. It's very much a thing of the genre.
And like I said, when it takes... I mean, some people might think, it takes like a hard left turn into horror, like in the third act. I don't know if it's so much a hard left turn. I mean, they did... even though
they set it up.
That's what I mean. Like, even though most of the film is them just like crossing the frontier, they did kind of like tease it at the beginning. Like the very first scene is a guy getting his throat cut in a very like graphic and disgusting sound effect fashion. By Sid Haig and David Arquette.
In some ways, the movie kind of reminds me of 13th Warrior. More of the book.
I've seen other people compare it to that, yeah.
Not so much the movie 13th Warrior, because I didn't really like that movie, but the book. Guys riding off to go get rid of the fucking few remaining Vendel, who are these savage dudes living in caves, from another era.
Yeah, I have seen other people make that comparison.
Yeah.
And I should say, too, now, okay, if you are squeamish... You're not gonna.
It's pretty cool.
You're not gonna like. You're not gonna like the end where it goes. Like I said, it's a perfectly enjoyable movie. But like I said, if you were very squeamish about gore and like really nasty kills and stuff, I would suggest that you probably just keep your eyes handy, like right here, like for the last third, just in case, because there's some nasty shit in this. And I mean, I've seen a lot of. I haven't seen the Eli Roth movie, like his homage to Cannibal Holocaust and Cannibal Ferox, which is called The Green Inferno. But I've heard that this was worse, but I'm not sure. I think the ones in Green Inferno were like more prolonged. Yeah. But in this one, I think the thing that bothered me most about this one was that, one, it was kind of like the way it was shot, like he shot it as though you were in the cage next to Kurt Russell, like watching it happen in front of you. So you were in his shoes, which I think made it kind of upsetting. And also, the whole scene where, I mean, if you didn't know, like, spoiler alert if you don't want to know, but like I said, if you're squeamish and you want to know what's coming, this dude gets scalped alive, like right there in your face. And then they take all his clothes off, they turn him upside down and start hacking, like, right in between, and then pull him in half, like a fucking wishbone.
Yeah, his guts come out.
Okay.
And then they drag him in different directions, they drag him off to eat him.
Yeah, and then they're going to eat him. Yeah. So, and that happens, like, right in front. And, like, but something that I think, other than there being not much of a score in this, really helped because you never really knew what to expect. There wasn't like a big like musical sting when like an arrow was going to come out. It was just like surprise you like it would in real life.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
But I think something that made this more affecting was that, one, the sound effects were totally gross. I mean, like they used like really realistic sound effects, like what a guy getting pulled in half would sound like. Like not that I would know, but I'm just saying. And also, the way that Kurt Russell reacts to seeing it, I think in a lot of cannibal movies, you have kind of shit like people screaming and freaking out and stuff like that. But what Kurt does is that he starts telling the guy, because the guy's being scalped and he's still alive and they're still like cutting beneath, and the guy is screaming and stuff as you would. Yeah. But Kurt is telling him, we're the cavalry's going to come. We're going to get revenge. We're going to get all this other stuff. And like... And it really kind of makes it really affecting because, and then like after they drag this poor guy away, the guy that gets bisected is the deputy from earlier. His name was Nick. He was like a young deputy, like the up and coming one. And like afterward, Chicory's like, "Why did you tell him that the cavalry are they really coming?" And he's like, "No," but he's like, "I know if that was happening to me, that's what I would want to hear." Yeah. So that's what he told them. Yeah. So this whole thing is like.
So by the way, spoiler alert.
Well, I said that before. Okay, right. I'll probably put that in the description. It's if you really want to watch this, it's like... Yeah. But yeah, I think what makes it so, if it's not just the gore, but it is very gory, but it's affecting because you give a shit about those characters. The character that gets killed... You don't care as much about him as the other ones because, he was only in a couple scenes at the beginning and then he got kidnapped. So you're not as invested in them as you are as the four guys that like went looking for him. Yeah. But the way the other characters react to it, like really makes it kind of heart-wrenching and horrible. And then like all the stuff that happens afterward, again, spoiler alert, where, they just, the cool thing about it is that they're just using anything they can get to like get back at these cannibals.
Yeah, they're trying to make an escape plan and get out of there. You know, you just got to see the movie.
I mean,
they trick them. They had some damn laudanum, or was it morphine?
It was opium.
Opium. Okay, yeah. They had some of that. That helped them escape. They tricked him into drinking that.
Yeah, because Patrick Wilson had it for his leg because it had been in his wife's bag. I forgot, like, mentioning the gore. There's also a very gory scene where Patrick Wilson's character, Dwyer, cuts the flute out of one of the troglodytes' throats.
Yeah, they all have these things in their necks.
Like, so we were debating, because I don't think the movie made this entirely clear. Was that a mutation or was that a body mod?
I think it might have been some kind of body modification, I guess.
I think it was too, because it was like, because the troglodytes didn't talk, and the only way they communicated was with, they had like these, they would make like these really whistles. Horrible sounds, like these whistles, and they would like put them like in their larynx. And it looked like, I mean, the effort that he had to make to cut this thing out of the guy's neck. I think it was put in there
since they were kids.
Since they were kids, and it had grown around it. Right. That's what I was thinking. Because some of them had, like, horns and shit on their face, too, and I don't think that was growing out of their head. I think that was
they didn't have any females. They just... Their mothers were just torsos. And they were blinded. And,
they had, like, horns in their eyes. Yeah, they just had, like, these 2 pregnant women in the cave with no
their arms and legs. Yeah, and they would just use these things as kind of like little breeding vessels.
Yeah, that was like, and I've seen some people say that they thought that was more disturbing.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Really, the cutting people in half and the scalping and stuff, it didn't really affect me that much. But you know what I mean. I don't. Really, I know special effects when I see it.
Yeah.
So it was just like, yeah, okay. I just thought it was cool.
It was kind of, but yeah.
Yeah, but when I saw how they were born, you know what I mean. I was like, man, they're just keeping them women just in the
that's fucked up.
In the shelf.
On the shit, they were just like on a shelf.
Yeah,
when they couldn't move and they were just like laying there with these big pregnant bellies.
Yeah,
it's like on a shelf, it really kind of like it. They didn't really go a lot into like the troglodytes, culture or anything like that. But they just had little bits like that kind of gave you a hint of it. Gave you
an idea how they came about.
That gave you like an idea of what these
they weren't big
people
talkers.
were doing. Well, I don't think they could talk.
I don't think they could talk. Yeah.
Well, probably not if they did that body mod with that thing, and then they would just like make these weird whistling noises because that was like when they were going across the frontier because they weren't entirely sure what they were going to see when they got there. I mean, they knew that they were cannibals and they knew that they lived in caves because the professor had told them, but I don't think they were really ready for what happened when they got there. Well, so how would you be? I mean,
I think the professor, he said they were from a tainted bloodline. I thought he meant inbred, and that they would eat, they would rape and eat their own mothers. So I guess that's what I thought. The damn torsos, they might have been related to them. It might have been, their family members.
Yeah, and there didn't seem to be that many of them. No. I mean, they killed, when they killed some, and then like asked, Mrs. O'Dwyer because she was in the cave and she hadn't been eaten yet, and they asked her how many she thought there were, and she thought there were maybe only 12 males.
And they didn't rape her, evidently.
Well, if they did, they didn't say it.
Okay.
I mean, because she just said, because I think that like they asked her, "Are you okay?" or she said, "I'm alive." That's all she said. So I don't know if that was an implication that they had been doing horrible shit to her.
But they just seemed to be they were going to eat her. They weren't going to turn her into a shelf girl, I guess.
Yeah, because maybe that wasn't their deal, man. It's like maybe they just ate people.
Right.
And like the one, it's weird because like the stable boy that they killed at the beginning, they were wondering, it's like, oh, why did they leave him there? Like they stole the horses and shit too, but it's like, why'd they leave him there? They said, oh, they won't eat black people.
That's right.
They'll only eat white people.
People said they wouldn't eat black people,
Yeah, so that's why that happened. Yeah. Because I had forgotten about that aspect of it as well.
Right, yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, it's going to be like a type of thing where if you really like Westerns and you like this kind of ambling pace that it has, but then are ready for like shit to get gory and ugly near the end, then I think this will be right up your alley. Now, interestingly, I was thinking about other movies that I could compare this to, other than saying like The Searchers meets Cannibal Holocaust, which is that's pretty accurate. I should say that this is not the only kind of Western cannibal movie out there. And if you have not seen the 1999 film Ravenous, you need to go get on that shit. That's actually set during the Spanish Civil War, I think. And it actually has more to do with the legend of the Wendigo. Yeah. The monster that, like, if, you would turn into it if you ate people. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So there was a lot of that shit about on the frontier. Like, it's a Native American legend about, if you were forced to eat human flesh, then you would turn into a Wendigo and you would become cannibalistic. So it kind of plays with that. It's also kind of a black comedy, but also a horror movie, kind of gory. Weirdly, David Arquette, who was in this, was also in that. So I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, that's a very small genre for him to be in several movies of. So yeah, so if you haven't seen that one, you should see that one. Also, I wanted to recommend, if you like super violent Westerns, you should see The Proposition, which was directed by John Hillcoat and with a screenplay by none other than Nick Cave. So, and it was badass. He also did the score. I think him and Warren Ellis also did the score of it. And it's actually very good. It's not really a horror movie, but it's a Western, but it's like super violent. So if you like this one, you probably like those two as well. We probably will do a review on Ravenous one of these days because I've been wanting to do it forever. I think I have it on DVD someplace, but I think it's also on Netflix because that's also very good. And also has kind of like a dark humor kind of undertone, similar to the way this one does. So, if you're into Crustle and you haven't seen this one yet, I know we spoiled the whole thing.
Right. Yeah.
But it's still a good watch, even though we spoiled it. Just be ready for the end. It's like, I said, if you have like a tender stomach or whatever.
It's a good movie.
It is. It's very good. And I would highly recommend it. So we will see you next time. Bye.